You are now listening to the Wolf Sports Network live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now on Odyssey Station.
We're back, baby. It's season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket, where the takes are cold and there is zero chill.
That's right. We're back with controversy. We're calling out the fakes, the frauds, and the failures.
Cash or Trash is back too. Your takes, your trades, we judge it all.
And we're bringing you stats, smack talk, and sleepers in our segment, Fantasy Football.
And then we take you down to the 2-minute warning, where we try to plead our case on horrible sports takes.
And we're melting the ice with the return of Fire Me Up.
And you already know we bring you the coldest interviews in sports radio.
This is the Philly Sports Guy.
This is former MLB All-Star Justin Masterson.
Hey, yo, what up? My name is Josh Martinez from Z100 New York.
What up, guys? It's Tyrell Adams, former UWG linebacker.
One vet, 3 rookies. Sports Out of Pocket Season 6.
Zero chill.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Season 6, Episode 9 of Sports Out of Pocket. I'm your host today, Jackson Voles. And around the table, I'm here with the most amazing cast I could potentially do this show with for the new era. I'm only saying that because there's an old member of Out of Pocket in the control room over there. But across from me, wearing this disgusting black jersey from New York, JT Groves. JT, how's your day going, man?
Man, I'm feeling great. NBA is starting back up. The Knicks play tonight. A little bit injury plagued, but I'm excited.
I'm glad you're excited. I'm personally a Celtics fan, and I know we got a wide array of NBA fans around the table and at the station. But a guy who's a big Hawks fan over to the right of me, Mr. Grady Hamilton, how's your day going, man?
It's going pretty good. The Lakers lost last night. I'm a little bit sad. But that
I know you're a big Bron fan.
Yeah,
man.
I love LeBron. I love LeBron, anything he does. And that Thunder Rockets game was a very good watch.
We're going to get into that a little bit in our controversy segment. But to the left of me, a guy who doesn't really care much for basketball, but will watch it if everybody else is, Michael Miller. Michael, how's your day going, man?
It's going good. I love college basketball. I'm not a huge NBA guy, so I don't really care that it's starting tonight. But I guess I'm a Hawks fan, kind of, if I had to pick a team. But I saw they extended somebody yesterday, so I know that. I don't know who it is, but they extended somebody.
Well, I think you should get into a little bit more NBA and college basketball. I prefer college basketball over the NBA, but that's a conversation for another day. But with that, let's get into the show.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
We're in here talking about practice.
It's time for the latest sports controversies. Now, I feel like we talk about this guy every single week on Sports Out of Pocket. It's New York Giants quarterback Russell Wilson. Now, I want to kind of bring this up because he had a few words to say about his old Denver Broncos head coach, Mr. Sean Payton, calling him classless. According to Sean Payton, he made a post saying, "I was talking to New York Giants owner John Mara not too long ago, and I said, we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game, saying the Giants found a little spark with the new quarterback Jackson Dart, and Russell Wilson took a little bit of that personally, and therefore calling him classless." Now, Grady Hamilton, I know you're a big Russell Wilson fan personally for you, so what are your thoughts on this statement made by Russell Wilson?
So, I mean, that's just a crazy thing to say, I guess, as this whole thing shouldn't really be happening on social media, regardless of what side you're on, of the situation. Jackson Dart is outplaying Russell Wilson right now. That's kind of a hands down thing to say. But then making comments like that as a coach and just saying stuff like that is just kind of ridiculous.
I mean, it was true. I mean, I would 100% rather play against Russell Wilson than Jackson Dart. But like Grady said, that shouldn't be something that is raising that much conflict on social media like that.
Yeah, when I saw that Sean Payton said that, I didn't even think about it being a shot at Russell Wilson. I just thought that's true. I think any head coach would be yeah, I don't want them to put Jackson Dart in to give them a spark before we play him. It probably was a little bit of a shot just knowing who Sean Payton is. It probably was. But I think Russell Wilson reacting to it just makes him look even worse. You're a backup quarterback. You should not be on Twitter calling out a head coach, and the whole thing is stupid on both sides.
Why would you even say that, though? That's such a self-report on Sean Payton's part. There was no reason to come out there and say that. Start talking after the game happened, too. That's such a wuss behavior. It's just talking after the game ends. We were hoping that change would happen long after our game. He said after he barely made a comeback against the Giants. What are we talking about here?
Look, it's really unfortunate that Mr. Unlimited is Mr. Limited right now, not playing many snaps for the New York Giants in the NFL this season. And we talk about snaps and snipes and a lot of other S words. But a big man who was recently sent over to Houston and signed a deal with Houston, future NBA Hall of Famer Mr. Kevin Durant, nicknamed the Sniper. You know, Grady Hamilton, you're a big basketball guy, and I know you've been waiting all season to talk about Kevin Durant. So you have a controversy surrounding around him.
Well, the first controversy surrounding him, realistically, is the fact that he said he wants to spend the rest of his career with the Rockets, which is what he has said on the past, 5 teams he's been to.
He's a snake.
He shows up anywhere. I'm trying to spend the rest of my career here, besides Golden State, but that's because he hated Draymond. So that was kind of a different story. But Kevin Durant is just such a fraud goat case. If anybody ever tries to argue with me about how
He's
good
one of the
Kevin
greatest
Durant
scorers
is,
of all time.
he's a
NBA
very
history.
good player, but I don't want to see him in the GOAT conversation because he couldn't win without going. He was kissing up to Stephen Curry to win a championship. But the most recent controversy with Kevin Durant is last night during the Thunder Rockets game, he appeared to call a timeout. So in overtime, he got the rebound.
Kirby Smart?
Yes, kind of like Kirby Smart. He was clapping at the end of overtime. So he called a timeout, and the refs didn't blow a whistle. It should have been a tech, which should have given the Thunder a chance to win the game early. In my opinion, I think it's kind of people are getting upset about it online, but I don't see it as that big of a controversy because, first off, the refs didn't blow the whistle, so it's whatever. And then also, it's a regular season game. I would rather watch an actual compelling ending to an overtime game 99% of the time than watch Shea go to the line and shoot 2 free throws to try to end the game that was that good.
Yeah, if you're somebody that watches the NBA and is like, oh, that rule, that should have been called. That should have been called. I understand. There was 4 different players on the court that were all trying to call a timeout when they got that rebound. And, I feel like the ref should have called it. They should have said something about it. It's funny because I saw everything on Instagram and stuff like that. Everyone was saying that Shea was already trying to get the free throw line, and it's only the first game of the season. And so that was pretty funny to me.
It would have been a much bigger deal if we talk about crucial games. If it was a playoff breaking moment, but this is the opening game of the season. I understand it was a big one for Kevin Durant, spending the majority of his career in Oklahoma City, and obviously now playing with the Rockets out there in Houston. And it's just a very controversial calls. We see it across sports, especially when it comes to tech and fouling and miscommunicated hand signals. So. But Michael,
I don't know why you keep talking like that, Jackson. I don't know what you keep implying by that sentence.
That's a conversation for another day, Grady Hamilton. But Michael Miller, giving the context to the situation, what are your thoughts on the Kevin Durant situation?
I don't know about you guys, but I clap like this all the time, so I don't really know what we're talking about.
I get what Michael's saying.
Exactly.
We're twins.
Kevin Durant did nothing wrong. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, he kind of understands it from that point. With Kevin Durant, by the way, I wanted to say obviously, he said he wanted to spend his whole career with the Houston Rockets. When's the last time the Houston Rockets won an NBA Finals? We saw back in 2017 it was when, they had a huge lead against the Golden State Warriors, and that team consisted of Chris Paul, Eric Gordon,
you mean Rajon
for
Rondo?
example. Yeah. CP3.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Rajon Rondo. When's the last time the Houston Rockets won an NBA Finals or even made one, Grady?
I don't even know. I have hope for this team, though. They're such a, if you look at just physically speaking, they have such a big starting lineup. Amin Thompson, Kevin Durant, all those people on the floor at the same time. Yes. He carried their team last night. If you look at that, it was a terrible 3-point shooting performance for both teams. I think Kevin Durant went 2 for 7 or something like that. It was ridiculously bad for a scorer like Kevin Durant to be putting up numbers like that.
You said, speaking of carrying teams, you know who didn't carry my team, my fantasy football team, but let's get into some fantasy football.
It's that time of the year again, and we're talking all things fantasy. Whether you're a 10-year vet or a first-year rookie, we've got you covered with some fantasy football.
Now, with fantasy football, we have a lot of dirty trades and dirty under-the-table deals that have been going on around the league. None of it is due to me. All of it is due to this blonde boy over here, Mr. JT Groves.
Unbelievable.
But I don't want to start with you because I know you're just going to yap about how good of a trade it was with Joey, how good of a trade it was with Brandon, and how it benefited both. And then people are going to complain about it because you rob from the fantasy poor. So I'm going to start with Michael Miller for this segment. What are your thoughts on your fantasy football team? How'd they do this week? And what are you looking forward heading into next week?
I still think we got a good squad here. I think it's a good team. I believe in them. We played Aiden this past week, which Aiden is basically pulling in Alabama right now. He lost week 1, and now he's won 5 in a row, or maybe 6 in a row now. Yeah, 6 in a row. So, I mean, I didn't think we were going to win last week. Bucky Irving is still hurt, so having to play Jerome Ford doesn't help anything. Chuba Hubbard has fallen off a cliff. I know he was
Rico
banged up
Dowdle
earlier.
has been doing his thing.
He's been better,
Yeah.
I've been like alternating between. I have a bunch of receivers, and so I took a gamble and started Jalen Waddle over Keenan Allen last week. That was not a good decision. Keenan Allen had like 20-something points, and Jalen Waddle had like 2, so that wasn't a good decision there. Travis Hunter went off. He was on my bench. He hasn't really done anything all year until last week, so I feel like I have a lot of depth at receiver. I need Bucky to come back, and then we'll be like, as long as Bucky Irving comes back at some point and gets back to his normal self, then I think this team will be fine.
You talk about depth at receiver, man. I have a wide receiver who has had 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and that ended this year with Mike Evans being out for the majority of the season, out with a shoulder injury, unfortunate. Like, he just got back healthy after being out for a few weeks on the questionable. And, within the first 4 targets that he was thrown to by Baker Mayfield, I think it was a hospital ball personally thrown by Baker Mayfield over there. And he knew that I needed Mike Evans on my team to carry me, and that unfortunately wasn't the case. I have to run with Bijan Robinson and Brian Robinson Jr. So Brian Robinson Jr. and Jake Ferguson, Grady Hamilton. I know you're a big fan of those guys over there, but
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm not feeling very high because Dave Montgomery, Cooper Kupp, and Jared Goff all out on bye. So Grady Hamilton, I want to toss to you before JT goes on his whole rant on how good his trades were and how good his team is.
So I'm playing Michael this week, and Jameer Gibbs is out. So GG's, Michael. It was a good run. I appreciate you competing with my team. But I am actually having a lot better of a run so far. I'm on a 1-win streak, but I'm 3-4 right now, and I thought I was gonna be like 0-7. So it's kind of looking good right now. I'm praying that Jameer Gibbs has a miraculous recovery. Oh, no, he's on a bye. Never mind, I lied. So there's no recovery from a bye week. I might just be cooked on this one, guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm praying that maybe Justice Hill will turn into Jameer Gibbs for 1 week and carry my team. I don't know how much hope I have in that, though. So,
JT.
All right. So you were talking to me about how, I'm going to talk about how all these trades were so good that I made. I made good trades this season. But we're not going to talk about the fact that you're blaming me for this league being corrupt when the commissioner has the opportunity to do whatever he wants in this league and tries to get side deals whenever people are offering trades. He says, if I'm going to let this go through, what do I get out of it? Corrupt commissioner, corrupt league because of Jackson Voles. But
those are serious allegations.
Those are allegations that everybody in this league is making.
I don't think
everybody in this league is making those allegations.
I don't know if that's an allegation. It's kind of like the Sean Payton thing. He's just saying the truth.
Yeah, it's just the truth. I mean, all right. Going into this week, though, I escaped a trap game last week against Jackson Schrader. I had a lot of my best players on bye. Puka got hurt. Josh Allen, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid were all on bye. But now, this week, the top 2 teams in the league, Aiden Aby and myself, both 6-1, alone at the top of the league, are taking on each other this week, and Puka Nakua is still out for me, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is on bye for him. So this is going to be probably the game of the week. The winner of this will be alone atop of the league at a 7-1 record. I'm really excited for this week. I'm going to have a little talk with Christian McCaffrey and Josh Allen, my 2 guys that I really need to step up this week. And Rashid Rice also is kind of making his way into that team captain role. But of course, Jameis Winston's my main team captain.
What if I start throwing and let JT win the league?
Hold on. So now, before JT, you get into your starts and sits around the league and people with their waiver wire hits, I want to say very quick, the craziest thing was Aiden Aby only won 2 games last year in a WSN fantasy league with all the new guys around here at the station, and now it's just completely flipped. So I think it really shows the different level of competition when it comes to the old WSN guys compared to the new guys. I think the old WSN guys have just a lot more ball knowledge.
That's insane.
That's all I got to say.
Fantasy football is definitely the ultimate predictor of ball knowledge.
It's the ultimate predictor. I'm saying that. But JT,
okay, well, Jackson, hold on. You won the league last year, though,
yes.
didn't you? What's your record right now? Like 3-4? What are you? 4-3, 3-4?
4-3.
Yeah, so you're falling off. So what's happening?
What are you
Is
talking
the competition
about?
getting harder?
What are you talking about?
You won the
Why
league
would-
last
why would
year.
it-
You
why
won the
would it-
league
why
last
would it
year,
get
but now
harder?
you're complaining.
It's not my fault that Mike Evans.
That's to say, it only applies to him. It's not,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you're
not for
so
Aiden.
right. You're so right. Najee Harris, James Conner, everything just falling apart. But JT Groves, your waiver wire hits, pickups, and hospital beds.
Yeah, I'm literally just going to give you two guys that, well, one of these guys might even be on your waiver wire right now. Aronde Gadsden II, the current tight end 1 for the LA Chargers, who Michael has both Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnson on his team. And the Chargers are throwing the ball quite a bit. And so I just recently saw that this guy was on the waiver wire, so I picked him up. He is, in the last 2 weeks, he has 17 total targets. He has, in week 6 against Miami, he went 7 for 8 for 68 yards. And then just last week against Indianapolis, he went 7 for 9 with 164 yards and a touchdown. This guy is going to be starting for me this week over Dalton Kincaid. I'm trying to get rid of Dalton Kincaid right now. But I'd also recommend trading for Dalton Kincaid now. The week before he got hurt, he ended up not playing against Atlanta. The Bills had a bye week. Dalton Kincaid is now back. And against a very, very weak Panthers defense, you definitely want to start Dalton Kincaid. And then the last player I want to talk about, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Mr. Bill Nye. I want to talk about how these past couple weeks he hasn't been doing too hot. We saw him against the Chargers in week 5 putting up 27 points. And then the last 2 weeks against Chicago and Dallas, he combined for a total of 10 points. But he's still getting touches. He's still getting about 15 to 20 touches a game. And in a matchup against Kansas City, I feel like with Jaden Daniels being out this week, they're going to rely on the run quite a bit. And Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's going to get at least 20 touches this week. So I'd recommend either buying them now if you don't have them, and if you have them, start them this week.
I'd also like to highlight another player that I feel like people need to pick up off the waiver wires. Obviously, Chris Godwin's out for a little bit. Mike Evans is probably out to the end of the season. So who else is left in that wide receiver room for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Tez Johnson. And, the past two weeks, in week 6 and week 7 for Tez Johnson, he's averaged 13 fantasy points, about 6 to 7 targets, and 50 yards with a touchdown on average. So, Baker Mayfield really knows how to spread around the ball, but when you have a limited wide receiver stack, like obviously now you really only have Tez Johnson around, Jalen McMillan, Sterling Shepard, when you have your top 2 guys out. And Baker Mayfield, we saw this. We saw what happened with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Detroit Lions. It's really no excuse on why they lost, because their defense also didn't really put up great statistical numbers. But, when you have a lot of depletions on the offensive side of the ball, like Tampa Bay does, which, that's looking very, very good for the Atlanta Falcons, Michael and Grady. So, that's all I really got to say there with Tez Johnson. But we are going to go into a quick ad break. But when we come back, we have a wit from Wolf Sports Network making his on-air debut, Mr. Parker Andell, and we're going to get into cash or trash. So stay tuned. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Hey, yo, what up? My name is Josh Martinez from Z100 New York, and you're listening to my dudes from the Sports Out of Pocket on the Wolf Sports Network.
Join Wolf Sports Network as we present our 4th tailgate of the season on October 25th.
Breaking down the game between the Central Arkansas Bears and your West Georgia Wolves.
And other matchups from across the college football world.
The action starts at noon, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Tailgate sponsored by Campus Services and Westwood Apartments. Campus Services, from dining, parking, IDs, or mail, visit the Momentum Center, Westwood's Apartments. 100% student living, flat rate utilities, no hidden fees. Wolf Sports Network is back and will feature 3 live shows this fall.
On Mondays and Thursdays at 6, Sports Pack has you covered with all breaking sports news at the University of West Georgia and the entire sports landscape.
On Wednesdays at 6, Sports Out of Pocket is bringing the energy with Zero Chill, talking all the hot-button issues in professional sports.
And on Friday at noon, we get you ready for your college football weekend with The Playbook.
You won't want to miss out on all the action this semester at Wolf Sports Network.
Man, this beat brings back memories. Anyways, let me tell you all about this show on Wolf Sports Network. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. It's the playbook. Hear us talk about all college basketball, football, and baseball. Fridays at noon. The Playbook, only on Wolf Sports Network. It ain't just a game. It's everything. This is where the best separate themselves from the rest. But to be the best, you gotta read the best. And the best is the Playbook.
Let's go. Yeah, go.
Tune in to the Playbook, Fridays at noon on Wolf Sports Network.
Will our mouths write a check that we can't cash? Find out when we answer the question on everyone's mind. Cash or trash?
Welcome back to Sports Out of Pocket, and we are returning with Cash or Trash. If y'all don't know how Cash or Trash works, we all give a hot take, and we either cash or trash it, and everybody around the table gives their opinions. But I'm going to start with making his Wolf Sports Network on-air debut, Mr. Parker Andell. Parker, how's your day going, man?
It's going good, man. I'm blessed to be in here with y'all.
Hey, we're super excited to
Yes,
have
you
you
are.
on. Now, being the new guy at the table, I want to throw it to you first. What is your hot take, and what is your cash or trash for this week?
All right, let's start off with a banger. I'm going to go the Atlanta Falcons can win the NFC South.
A lot of side eyes in here. I don't like that.
That's not even ridiculous anymore, though. Like, Baker Mayfield's such a good quarterback, but he has, like, nothing. Like, he's playing with, like, bums that you'd pick up, like, last overall pick at recess. Like, I think I'll go with Tez Johnson. Like, that's who he's playing with at this point. Like, I don't really know what to say.
He's going with, we talked about the wide receiver weapons in Tampa Bay. We talked about Tez Johnson, Sterling Shepard, Jalen McMillan's making his return. And we saw them crumble against the Detroit Lions. I mean, when Baker Mayfield's without his weapons, who is Baker really as a man and as a quarterback and as a person?
That's too philosophical for
It's
our
too
podcast,
philosophical.
for our show.
I'm not a critical thinker, but you know who's a big critical thinker? Michael Miller. What are your thoughts on this take?
As a Falcons fan, I love it. I love it a lot. I think we absolutely can win the division. Here's my problem with us. Like, we're very inconsistent still. Like, I know Baker doesn't have, like, his weapons right now, and so, like, the opportunity's there, it's open. But, like, we're so up and down. And it's really to me, like, the quarterback position. Because I feel like Michael Penix, like, we watch him 1 week, and you see him go out there, and he's playing like an MVP-level quarterback, in my opinion, like some weeks. And you watch him go out there some weeks, and I see signs of Desmond Ridder out there. Not quite that bad. But it's so up and down with him.
Let me tell you. Look at the upcoming schedule, man. I mean, you got to
That is
admit
true.
it's in the lap. It's right in
That's a
front
good
of
point.
us. We
Got
control
Miami
our
this
own
week.
destiny here.
Mm.
Miami, New York. I mean, we're going to see Carolina.
They're all
Bryce
winnable
is
games.
hurt.
They're all winnable games.
Exactly.
I mean, especially for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, you've seen a lot of highlights, but you've also seen a lot of offensive inconsistencies, defensive inconsistencies when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. But, I mean, looking at the schedule far ahead, like, what is Miami going to do against you?
Loki, look, I hate to be that guy. I am a Falcons fan, but I got to trash that because we got BTA by North Carolina. What are we doing? Like, I can't in my right mind say that the Falcons have a chance to win the NFC South if they are not putting up consistent numbers, because that's the key to winning conference championships. You have to be consistent.
If that loss weighs that high, where does the win against Buffalo weigh in for?
That's what I'm saying. If you bring those highs and lows, if we can't consistently bring it to a mid ground, then we're just going to lose as many high big time games as we lose, or win as many big time games as we lose, and then we're back in the middle of it.
You were talking about winning big time games, and I want to pivot to baseball because now solidified with the World Series, the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, Michael Miller, I want to give a little shameless shout out. You've been a guest on our baseball podcast, Dinger Dudes, a lot of times. And, we talked about World Series predictions, World Series previews, who's going to make it. And now that they had the solidified two, you have a cash or trash relating to the World Series.
I do. So I don't know if you remember this or not, but on College Radio Day, me, you, and Aiden did a baseball show on that morning.
Called The Warning Track.
Yep. And we talked about who we thought was going to make it to the World Series because the postseason had just started. And I had Dodgers Blue Jays in my bracket, so take us credit for that. So we got Dodgers Blue Jays, and I know that like the Dodgers just beat the absolute soul and will to live out of the Brewers. That was diabolical stuff. 4 games. That wasn't nothing about that was competitive. It was terrible. So I know everybody's gonna be high on the Dodgers. Most people are gonna pick the Dodgers to win the series. I think the Blue Jays get this done in 6 games.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to trash it, and I actually want to start with me before I throw it to the Yankees.
Take his mic.
And you have to pull the AL East bias aside. The reason why I say this is Dodgers have the most complete roster up and down. They've had the most consistency throughout the entire playoffs, only losing 1 game to the Philadelphia Phillies in the NLDS. Shohei Ohtani put up one of the most amazing electric performances I've seen in postseason history, if not the most, with 10 strikeouts on the mound and 3 homers at the plate. This Dodgers team is way too complete, way too well-rounded for them to be taken down by the Blue Jays, who barely squeaked past due to thanks to George Springer's 3-run homer against the Seattle Mariners. So I'm going to trash your take as much as I'd like to see the Toronto Blue Jays win another World Series because they haven't really won one since the 1990s. I'm going to trash it.
Unfortunately, it's going to be popular to trash it, but I'm going to have to trash it. Like Jackson was saying, I mean, you can go down the roster and go by each position, and Dodgers probably have an edge 6 out of 9 of the positions. And, I mean, dude, you look at the Dodgers, I say the bullpen was probably a worry, but, I mean, you look at their starting rotation. Snell went 9 innings. Yamamoto went 9 innings. I think Glasnow went 7 or 8. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got your starters going into the 7th or 8th inning. I mean, that's going to be hard to beat. And I give a lot of props to the Blue Jays because they were the better team out of the whole AL, and they made it here, and they're gritty, and they're going to find a way to keep it close. But also it's going to rely a lot on Vlad. I mean, Vlad is the soul of that team. And you look at the Dodgers, they were winning when Shohei was not doing nothing. You know what I mean? So if the Blue Jays don't have Vlad, it's too much of a risk factor. Exactly. So I'm going to trash that take.
I don't know if I have much to add to this. Let me throw it back to you real quick, Michael. What is your reasoning? What do you see? What's the matchup that you have there? Because it really is, it's going to have to be a matchup thing. It's not going to be like power versus power. Dodgers have that every single time. So what do you see?
Yeah, I think let me be clear. Like the Dodgers from a roster standpoint, are definitely a better team. There's no doubt about that. And I like what Parker said. It's like about the rotation going so deep into games. Like that definitely worries me about my take because the Dodgers bullpen is going to be so rested. And you're having to burn guys early in the series too. The reason why I'm leaning with Toronto, though, is because of 2 things. 1, momentum, and 2, they have a shorter layoff. I think the layoffs in baseball are such a big deal, and we've seen it time and time again. The Dodgers won their series in 4 games. They've been sitting around since last Friday. So they've had Saturday, Sunday, and Monday just waiting to see who they're even going to play. And then they're having to fly out and play on Friday. So I think for the reason why I'm sticking with Toronto is because I think they are a really good, complete team still. Not quite the Dodgers, but they get home field advantage. With that environment in Toronto was insane for that entire series. So they get home field advantage, and they have the momentum, and I just think that layoff is going to affect the Dodgers too because they haven't really had to deal with that yet because they played in the wild card series. It's the first time they've had to deal with a layoff.
Layoffs are a very big part in baseball, but this Dodgers team has turned it up a notch from that 2024 to 2025 season with their acquisitions. But I want to stick in the topic of the NL West before we move to our next segment. The San Francisco Giants hired Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello as their new baseball manager. And I want to throw this out there because Tony Vitello has 0 coaching experience in pro ball. He's only been in the SEC with Mizzou, Arkansas for a little bit, and Tennessee for the past 4 to 5 years. So my hot take for this, Tony Vitello is not a good fit for the San Francisco Giants, and they should have gone somewhere else at the managerial position, cash or trash, and I want to start with Parker on this one.
That's a good take. It's a tough one because I think it's such a wide range. I mean, of course, the ceiling's going to be – I mean, you're not really expecting much from him, right? In a loaded division of Padres, Giants, Dodgers. I mean, you know, it's going to be hard to compete. So I'm going to I'm going to cash your take. I mean, it's a really good take. It's going to be easy for us to say that. It's kind of a prove me wrong type of situation. But I'm not gonna down SEC ball, man. I mean, that's some real baseball over there. So when you get to the big leagues, it is a little different. But I think it's gonna be really, really surprising to see how he does in the league.
Trash. Sometimes you got to let a guy cook. You got to let a guy cook. Give him an opportunity. Put him in the kitchen. Like, you can't see how well a guy can cook, so you put him in front of a pot and give him some, like, pasta to put together. You got to do something. It's just, like you were saying, it's like a prove me wrong. So I got to trash his take just on the basis of the fact that it's kind of like, you don't know, so you can say whatever you want to about the situation, but I think you got to let him cook, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
What gives you confidence? So, like, what makes you think, all right, he's going to come in and cook? You know what I mean? He can burn the kitchen down.
He could burn the kitchen down. He could also cook the best meal you've ever tasted in your entire life, and you don't know that. That's why it's such a speculative take, because you're talking about different levels.
The thing is, Grady, we've seen it time and time again, especially with a coach who has zero pro ball experience heading into even a bench coach position. Kind of crumbled that team, but Tony Vitello is the very first collegiate baseball head coach with zero pro experience to be at a managerial position. I mean, we've seen him build that program up over at Tennessee the past 5 years, leading them to multiple College World Series appearances, and he's a personable player coach, because I had a conversation with a guy who used to play at Tennessee under Tony Vitello, and he said the differences between Vitello and other coaches is they are not personable like he is. He gets involved with the players' lives. He's very involved in the coaching aspect, and you've seen nowadays with coaching, they're skyrocketing these teams to championship skies and championship highs, So I like the Vitello hire. I just don't think he's going to be successful in the MLB. I think he should have had a different, hiring experience.
I spit on your take.
Okay.
I agree with Jackson completely. I think that this move is just a little too aggressive for me. Like, I understand it's cool and it's exciting for Giants fans because he's won a national championship. Tennessee has been very good. But, when we're talking about zero MLB experience, it's not just coaching. He didn't play there either. It'd be one thing if he were had some experience being in a big league clubhouse and things like that as a player, but he doesn't even have that. He didn't play I don't believe he even played in minor league baseball either. I don't think he got drafted. I think he just played at Missouri. So the highest level he's gone to is just Division I college baseball, which the gap between college baseball and the MLB is so significant. It's not even
different
funny.
It's
completely
NFL.
different. Exactly. I would say it's even wider, yeah.
MLB is one of the hardest sports to go pro in because you obviously have low A, you have high A, double A, triple A, and it takes players on average 5 to 7 years to even reach that major league level. So that's just kind of my aspect.
What do you think a reasonable expectation is for him? Especially in a stacked division, man.
Are you saying record-wise?
And their roster is not anything that can really compete with L.A. or San Diego for
what
that
do you
matter
expect?
right now.
You know what I mean?
I'm expecting a smooth 77 and 85. I'm going to say a 77 and 85, but if he can turn it completely around, lead them to a wild card berth, props to him. Big props to him, but I just think when it comes to coaching experiences and when they hire these coaches in managerial positions in the MLB, I just don't think it's really relative to what the record shows or what the performance that they can put out on that field.
But so what is the difference? So I understand skill wise, obviously MLB is much more difficult than college wise. But what managerial, what skills do you think you have to have as a professional that Parker? What skills do you need to have as a professional?
I think it's a situational. I'm trying to think of the word. Just a situational position, because like we seen in the Game 7, Dan Wilson of the Mariners, you go to Bizzardo in the 7th inning instead of going to your closer. Bizzardo has thrown so much in that series already; they kind of seen him a good time, and you got Game 7. You got to go to your closer when you need to. You know what I mean? And Munoz was Springer was 0-for-2 against him, and it's just situations like that, just being able to make that call, because you're the manager. You're not you know what I mean? You've got guys in your ears and stuff like that, but ultimately the decision comes down to you. So you're going to make decisions, and I feel like just a lot will backfire, and he'll get a lot of chirps from it.
But that's what I'm saying though, because you even have like a professional manager. Professional managers get like trashed all the time on social media for bad like pitching changes, bad stuff like that.
Right.
So I don't see what's stopping him from like it's either like you know ball or you don't know ball.
Right.
I don't think any amount of experience can get you to know ball.
What do you
more.
expect from him then? Like, what do you think? You think he comes in and makes the playoffs?
What are we talking about, Jackson?
I don't think so.
I do want to say one
But,
thing to Grady's
yeah.
point just real quick. It's like my thing is I agree with Parker about decision making is my biggest thing, like bullpen decisions, because then like when you have college baseball, especially in the College World Series, your starters going like 3 innings probably because they don't go very long in college baseball. So you're making a lot of pitching changes. You're throwing a lot of guys back to back days in college. Like there's a lot more. It's a lot more looser with how you do that. MLB, you're talking about a 162 game season. You got to keep guys healthy. You have to know when they can go, how long they can go for. And it's giving players off days too, like position players, like throughout a season. You don't have to do that in college.
I'd say these are grown men up here. You know what I'm saying? How are they going to look at
Exactly, yeah.
Vitello, and are they going to respect him right out the? They're going to have to earn that. He's going to have to earn the respect from his players.
With no pro, like he's not a pro, like he hasn't been there. There's no experience there for him too. So that's another
I
problem.
don't know. The differences between the good managers and the bad managers is the bad managers really only have 2 minutes from being fired. But speaking of 2 minutes, it is time to get into the 2-minute warning. Let's go.
It's the end of the game, and you're losing. But you have one chance to defend an awful take. Do you have what it takes? We have reached the 2-minute warning.
So, Jackson, I thought you were going to say, like, good managers are able to manage it in clutch situations. Like, if you have a 2-minute warning.
That would have been a better transition.
I should be the transition guy.
It's kind of too late to turn back now.
Oh, that's a 2.
So,
That's a number 2.
But welcome back, Mr. JT Groves.
Oh,
It is
hey.
time for the 2-minute warning. And if y'all are new to the episode, new to the show, 2-minute warning is where people and fans send in terrible takes for us to defend in 2 minutes, being drawn out of this hat. Now, I want to start with Grady Hamilton. You're going to start with this one. Pull it out the hat, and then you're going to choose who goes next.
Jets make playoffs, win AFC East next year.
Oh, well.
Oh.
It's a little easier.
Okay. By Tyler
Skierman.
Okay. Thank you for submitting the take, Tyler. We appreciate all our fans that send in takes because it makes our job a lot easier. We don't have to make up stuff on the spot.
All right,
so,
Grady.
let's say I'm on the clock.
3, 2, 1, go.
Dude, the Jets are flying high. It's kind of hard to like make an objective statement though about this because we're talking about next year. A lot can happen in the course of a year. I'll be honest, dude. I haven't been paying any attention to the Jets this year, so I'm gonna start making some stuff up real quick. The Jets don't have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback anymore, which is probably a good decision because even though he had a really good performance last week, he's kind of an unk now. He's falling apart. He got injured the first game, so I'm glad they moved on to bigger and better things. Who is their quarterback right now?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Oh my gosh! Wait, Justin Fields, the guy from Georgia? Yeah, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Might be the worst quarterback in the league right now.
I just made up my mind that he's the greatest quarterback of all time, JT. Dude, you don't even know. He's a good quarterback. Like if you watch him at Ohio State, he knows how to play ball. I feel like it's kind of like a Baker Mayfield thing where you kind of just gotta like let him simmer a little bit. Like Baker Mayfield was a good quarterback in college.
They
He
let
came
him
to the
simmer
NFL.
for 7 games.
Dude, he's still simmering, Jackson. He's still simmering, buddy. I'm going to interrupt your take, too. He's a good – like, Justin Fields is a good quarterback. I don't know, like, how you can look at him, like, the way he played in college and be like, he was a bad quarterback or a system quarterback. I think he's like a Baker Mayfield situation where we're waiting for him to, like, click. And I think that next year is a perfect time for him to start clicking and for the Jets to make the playoffs. I think it's pretty obvious. They just need to make some trades, get some weapons around Justin Fields, and get a good offensive coordinator. That's all it takes.
All right, Grady, who goes next?
Jackson.
Wow. I'm going to toss to me.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm tossing it to Jackson.
Yeah. All right. Next one. All right. Ooh.
Hey.
White Sox make the playoffs next year. At Carson Crossley, former UWG baseball pitcher. Shout out Carson for sending that in. The Chicago White Sox have continued to trend upwards when it comes to baseball. They won 41 games last year. They've won 50-something games, 60-something games this year. And it's only going to continue to get better. They have a top 5 farm system in all of baseball. And I think if they contribute that to their lineup and to their rotation, they have 3 of those guys in the top 15 in all of MLB pipeline baseball. And those guys are playoff and MLB ready. We've seen it within the White Sox organization previously. For example, Jose Abreu was a top 5 MLB prospect, and they brought him up through the White Sox system. Colson Montgomery, also a really big guy in the White Sox right now as well. With this Chicago White Sox team, I feel like they just need a different they need to bring in some guys in free agency and notable names. Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman said he likes the cold weather, so I wouldn't mind seeing him in Chicago. Marcel Ozuna, I feel like he'd look great in black and white. He can bring the big bear to Chicago. I mean, Chicago, they're known as the Bears, the Chicago Bears. So we'll see that place over there. But when it comes to the White Sox, they don't really have much to compete with either in the American League. I mean, the Cleveland Guardians are an 80-something win team. You only have to win 80 games to win that division, and you only have to win 83 games to make the playoffs. I mean, we saw it with Cincinnati this year. So if the White Sox continue on an upward trend, I wouldn't mind seeing the White Sox, and I think they make the playoffs next year.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw it to Michael Miller.
Welcome to 2 Minute Warning, where the rules are made up and nobody knows what they're talking about.
Michael Miller.
2-minute warning that none of us take 2 minutes to do.
Yeah.
Dude, you can have as much time as you want. Time is irrelevant in this situation. We have
Time
time.
is a contract.
We have
It's a
timeouts,
theory.
dude. You can call timeout.
Florida should hire Mark Stoops from Philip Walton.
Shout
I
out.
would love to hear this one.
I think there's a case for that actually. All right.
Go.
All right. So Mark Stoops is probably the best. Okay. Bear Bryant's the best coach in Kentucky history because it's Bear Bryant. But other than that, Mark Stoops is the best coach in Kentucky history. He took a program in Kentucky that you'd probably, before he got there, you would probably compare them to like a, in the ACC, maybe like a Boston College, a little bit worse than Boston College, honestly, before he got there. He's gotten Kentucky in the top 15 multiple times. He's won 10 games at Kentucky several times in his career there. He's had some good quarterbacks. He's produced some good quarterbacks. Will Levis getting into the NFL. Obviously, he wasn't good in the NFL, but he was a second-round draft pick. So you've had some talented players come through Kentucky. You've had some good running backs. There, Ray Davis last couple of years. Benny Snell was there. Kentucky's had some good teams. They've had an opportunity to win the SEC East a couple of times. They lost to us when they played Georgia for an SEC East championship back in 2018. By the way, that was a good game. So he's had a lot of success at Kentucky. He got offered the Texas A&M job. A lot of people don't remember that, but Texas A&M actually did offer him the job, and then A&M fans just got that shut down because they didn't want him. I think it's interesting to see what Mark Stoops could have done at Texas A&M if he had been there, though. He's done a very good job at Kentucky. I think the reason that their kind of success has fallen off the last couple of years, or they haven't been as good lately, is because I think Mark Stoops is just sick of being there. Like, I think it's kind of like a James Franklin thing. Like, James Franklin is a really good head coach, but I think this is the relationship between him and Penn State just kind of fizzled out. I think that's kind of the same thing with Kentucky because he's done a very good job at Kentucky. And if you're in a situation where you're getting Kentucky ranked in the top 15 and you're competing in the SEC and winning 9 to 10 games a year, I think that's warranted to see what you could do at a place like Florida.
I want to say very quick, they pulled that 10-win season, and now he has a losing record as a coach at Kentucky, right?
That doesn't matter.
matter.
The game
That
still
doesn't
happened.
matter.
Not really. The game
Okay.
still happened. Who cares about that?
All right, JT
All right.
Groves, the final 2-minute warning for this week.
Hold on. Ooh.
The
Wolf End.
final 2-minute warning. Speaking of two,
All right.
Brady's drawing. I don't know
What are we
that is.
doing?
Kevin Durant, obviously.
Okay.
All right, this take. Emeka Egbuka will not be a top 3 rookie wide receiver by the end of the season, from Brendan Willoughby Ray. All right. So we saw a very, very strong start for Emeka Egbuka to start the season. But the main reason that he is not going to be a top 3 receiver is because of the amount of talent we have at rookie wide receivers this season. And we saw Emeka Egbuka. He's now hurt. He's questionable. He's been dealing with an injury. I mean, we saw Mike Evans already go down. And so now Emeka Egbuka is going to draw even more coverage in his direction, especially with Chris Godwin still not being there. I mean, and Bucky Irving out. The only weapon that they have that Baker Mayfield has to throw to is Emeka Egbuka. And who are they going up against this week? I don't know, but it's probably somebody that's going to lock down Emeka Egbuka this week. But there's other rookie wide receivers that I feel like could definitely finish above. And one guy that I have on my team, I mean, I'm not going to bring up the Saints. They're not a great team. But the rest of the season, the Bucs have a really, really tough schedule. They still have to play the Falcons, I think, twice. They haven't played them yet, have they?
But week 1.
Played him week 1. And they play him again. The Falcons have a really, really solid defense, especially that pass defense. And so if Baker Mayfield's trying to get that ball out quick, he's not going to be able to get that ball to Egbuka. And if he does, it's going to get picked off. But like guys like Ted McMillan, you look at Matthew Golden for the Green Bay Packers. These guys are going to start stepping up even more. I had another guy in mind, but I'm forgetting his name right now.
Luther Burden.
Luther Burden's good. Yes, thank you.
Why am I helping you?
Oh no, I'm forgetting his name. I don't know, but those are 3 guys that I could definitely see. Luther Burden's starting to step into a bigger role with the Chicago Bears. Matthew Golden's still that wide receiver 1 with Green Bay. Jordan Love's going to continue to throw that ball to him. And then, of course, Ted McMillan's the only weapon in Carolina at the receiver position. Bryce Young's going to feed him the ball. Mecca Egbuka might finish top 5, but he will not be top 3.
Anyways, Daniel Chaney.
All right, let's vote.
What
Michael
is
wins.
What is your answer?
Raise your hand if
Daniel
Michael wins.
Chaney.
Gave the best take, the best case for the worst take.
See.
Who gave the best case? Buffering.
He's wearing the headphones.
Does he have a
like
whiteboard?
He's downloading.
He does. I think he's writing
He's
something.
buffering.
He's buffering. He's downloading.
He's thinking about who wins.
What? JT? Honestly,
go.
JT did
This
have the
is a
easiest
sham.
take because this take was sent in last week before Egbuka went down before injury.
Thank you, Brennan, for that take.
So
Thank you
that's
so
all I'm
much.
gonna
You
say.
at 3 now?
Honestly,
I'm at 2, I believe.
Okay.
honestly, with JT getting another point, I'm distraught. I'm
Oh my
honestly
gosh.
fired.
He's
up.
fired up, guys.
But before we get into Fire Me Up,
Don't we have a
we're
segment
going to
called
show
Fired
some
Up?
love to the other shows. And when we come back, we're going to get fired up about the NFL and West Georgia Wolves homecoming week, baby. So stay tuned.
Let's go.
This is the Philly Sports Guy, and you're listening to Sports Out of Pocket on Wolf Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at Playbook Training Camp. Now we throw it down to Joey, who's interviewing head coach Brandon Dyer.
Thanks, JT. I'm here with head coach Brandon Dyer. And Brandon, there have been many reports about starting punter Jackson Voss saying that he peaked in high school. Now, what are your thoughts on how he will perform this semester with the playbook?
Well, Joey, I have full confidence that Jackson Voss will be a breakout star for the playbook this season, and you'll find out Fridays at noon only on Wolf Sports Network.
Step right up, folks. It's season 2 of the Playbook, where we're talking everything college basketball and baseball and...
Wait, Jackson. Dude, it's fall. And just like a playbook, I think we need to call an audible.
We are talking strictly college football all semester on season 2 of the Playbook, Fridays at noon, only on Wolf Sports Network.
It's time for season 2 of the Playbook, and we're talking all things college football, putting together a better sophomore season than Tim Tebow in 2007.
To the listeners and everybody at Wolf Nation, I promise you one thing. You will never see an on-air personality work as hard as I will for season 2 of the Playbook, and we will make this show better than any college football radio show will ever be for season 2 of the Playbook.
Listen as we fulfill this promise, live, every Friday at noon.
Listen up, because I got to tell you, Sports Pack is back and better than ever right here on Wolf Sports Network. Sports Pack is UWG's one-stop shop for all things sports. From hot takes to heated debates and even your best bets for the week, Sports Pack has you covered. So don't miss out on the fun. Catch us right here on Wolf Sports Network every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. See you there.
It's time to get heated with Fire Me Up. It is time to get fired up about some NFL and collegiate football, and I want to start with the NFL. My Philadelphia Eagles were able to squeak out and pull out a win versus the Minnesota Vikings with the whole Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts battle, but Philadelphia Eagles, I am still not pleased. We have not looked dominant. Our 5-2 record does not really show it. We lost to the we've lost 3, I think. No, 2 Broncos.
But he and doesn't Giants. even know his own team.
Broncos and Giants. That was a sad, sappy win versus the Giants. But Brandon Graham, I'm super excited. I'll get fired up on the positive side about that. He's out of retirement at the age of
55.
35, I don't know. Brandon graduated high school with him, so I really don't know. But So somebody ask him on the playbook every Friday at noon. But with this Philadelphia Eagles team, I am super, super excited heading into next week. I think they have a shot at winning the NFC East. I mean, we see a lot of injuries go down with the whole Cowboys side and CeeDee Lamb, but still persevering. The Washington Commanders can't keep a healthy quarterback to save their lives unless the New York Giants can figure out something with the whole Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo situation. I'm feeling and sitting very comfortably at the top of the NFC East.
You didn't mention the Dallas Cowboys, who are just won this past week 44-22.
I just did.
They are probably going to be that front runner in the NFC East, and the Eagles might even get third in that division with how injury prone they are and how the Giants have been looking. They were
the Giants are going to overtake the Eagles, right? That's funny.
I definitely think they could. I think that they're an exciting team to watch, and we saw what they just did against the Broncos, who are one of the best teams in the AFC. They lost that game, yes, but up until that fourth quarter, they were up like 33 points.
I understand.
Is the rage bait working?
It's zero rage bait. I can't hear it from a Buffalo Bills team who lost back-to-back from the Patriots to the Falcons, you know.
So the Patriots and Falcons both have very, very good defenses, and the Bills just have not been able to run the ball against either of those teams. And also, a stat that I found, the Bills have been penalized, I think, over 30 times in the past 3 weeks, which is the most in the NFL. This is the most that the Bills have ever had in a 3-week span.
Have you considered stop committing penalties?
I don't think Sean McDermott has considered that, and our entire Bills team. But also, with our team being injury-prone, Dalton Kincaid was out against the Falcons, and we just got off a bye week. So we lost our 2 games, which we've lost 2 games in a row every single season for the past 5 seasons. And we've still recovered, won the AFC East, and made a deep playoff push. So we coming off of this bye week, we are now going up against the Carolina Panthers, who, if we lose to them, I'm just going to quit on the season. We should not be losing to a team that has Bryce Young at quarterback and just nobody else, really. Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard kind of scare me a little bit. Bills have a injury-plagued defense right now. But bright side, Maxwell Hairston practiced today. And as long as we can get Tre'Davious White off the field, because, oh my gosh, he's costed us probably both of those games that we played.
Right.
We'll have Maxwell Hairston back, who you love.
I do
Kentucky
love
boy,
Maxwell.
you know?
All I got to say is I don't really like your whole stance on the whole, they got a good run defense. The Falcons have a great run defense.
They do. They do. They have a top 5 defense.
How many rushing yards did the Carolina Panthers put up on the Atlanta Falcons?
That was not the defense's fault, though. That was Michael Penix giving them short fields over and over and over again. And
I'm talking about the Panthers' run game.
Yeah, I know. But
the Panthers'
on
run
the field
game
the entire
has
game
been great against everybody they played so far this season. When Rico Dowdle was starting, Rico Dowdle against the Cowboys the week before put up like 200 yards on the ground. Like, Rico Dowdle's a great running back, and the Panthers have just clicked the past 2 weeks. So I'm kind of worried for this game that the Bills have against the Panthers this week. But if we can manage to stop the run, there's no way we lose.
All right, Michael, Grady, the so-called Falcons fans, y'all are going against the Miami Dolphins this Sunday at 1 p.m. How are y'all feeling about that game? Get fired up about your Atlanta Falcons, starting with Michael.
Yeah, this team, I don't even know what to say. Because, I feel like 1 week I feel like this team can win a Super Bowl, and then the next week I feel like this team's just going 7-10 again. It's so up and down. The defense has been consistently really, really good, so I am happy about that. Defense has been great. Divine Diablo got hurt on Sunday night, which that is not good for us because J.D. Bertrand came in and did not look like he knew what he was doing at all. So Divine Diablo being out is going to hurt the defense a little bit. We didn't have Jalen Walker or Billy Bowman on Sunday, so getting them back will be good, of course, as well. I think we'll come out and dominate Miami on Sunday. I'm not really too worried about it. Kirk Cousins or Michael Penix playing, I don't really care which one it is. Whoever it is, though, I think you got to think about if Kirk goes out there and the passing game clicks and moves really well. I know it's Miami and they're a bad team, but if Kirk plays really well, I think you have to think about what to do at the quarterback position going forward if he does play very well this weekend.
Starting Kirk Cousins would set the Atlanta Falcons back 100 years of progress that we've made. There's no way in anyone's right mind we can let Kirk Cousins get back on that field. We saw what happened last year when we had Kirk Cousins on the field. I just don't see any way. If we lose to Miami, I might never watch an NFL game ever again because Tua is if you made a quarterback and then removed his brain that's what Tua is at this point. So there's no way the Falcons should lose this
No,
game.
that's what Mike McDaniel is at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know why he is still there. I mean, I got it the first couple years with the whole Tua and Tyreek and Waddle connection, like the first couple years, but it's just fallen off the tracks ever since then. So I'm not really a big fan of the whole Miami thing. And if y'all
when
lose
Tua
over
gets
there,
sacked, you
that's
could
gonna
hear
be
a
sad.
rattling noise from his brain smacking around inside his skull.
The craziest thing is Miami isn't even the worst team in the AFC East. They don't even have the worst record, and they're 1-6.
It's finally not the NFC South. Yes,
So
finally.
but it's kind of leading to that. But kind of diverting to the collegiate football realm before we end off this show. The West Georgia Wolves face off versus the Central Arkansas Bears. Homecoming this weekend. I'm super, super excited. It's my final homecoming as a student. But for the rest of y'all, y'all are sophomores. Y'all got a couple more years. I'm super excited heading into this game. We lost last week against Tarleton State, 45-10.
It was bad.
Even
It was
with
bad.
Davin Widener back. But I have high hopes for this team. Central Arkansas isn't really as tough or as elusive as Tarleton State. And I feel like if we had the same momentum we had the first, 5 games of the season with Davin Widener and the whole run game and the same solid, solidified defense we had the first 5 games, I feel like we'd be able to get back on track. And homecoming atmosphere is always different at University Stadium. So
You guys
I'm
didn't do
super
your
excited.
research. I did my research. We lost to Tarleton State by 11 less points than Central Arkansas did, which means that we are clearly and obviously the favorites to win this game. The statistics support this. We let them score 45, and Central Arkansas's bummy selves let them score 56 points. So clearly, UWG wins by 100. I can't make it much more obvious for you guys.
JT?
So, I mean, we started out the season really, really hot, and then we just fell off super, super badly. And so looking at it like Austin P 3 weeks ago, we lost 44-30, mainly because we couldn't develop a run game too well, and our defense could not stop them. Then, 2 weeks ago, Abilene Christian lost 30-13 without Davin Widener. We started Colton Fitzgerald, and we just didn't perform well against, again, a ranked team. And then last week, we literally played the number 3 team in all of FCS, and there was no shot that we were going to win that game. Davin Widener did not look too great. Our defense did not look too great. I mean, the stats say it itself. We gave up 45 points. Our defense needs to step it up. We're not seeing what we saw out of our defense the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, but ever since week 6 or 7, we've just been horrible. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on with our defense. We need to step it up. But I'm excited. It's homecoming. It's a chance to rebound in front of our home crowd. I hope we get it done.
All right, look, it's homecoming. The defense is going to come back. They're going to pitch a shutout. Wolves are going to win this game 13-0 in a low-scoring, just ground and pound
I think
game.
it's gonna
Latrell
be a low
Morrell is
score.
going to carry the rock, get 1 touchdown this game. Wolves win at 13-0.
TJ Lester as well. He's a dog as well. We had him on Out of Pocket on the road. Make sure to go check those out on Wolf Sports Network social media series. But all I got to say before we wrap up the show is I want to see a homecoming win on my final year as a student at the University of West Georgia and here at Wolf Sports Network. If we don't win, I'm going to be severely disappointed. But I'm super excited for homecoming because it's always a great atmosphere. It's always a great game, always have a great time. So make sure to show up to University Stadium. And also, make sure to show up at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday. Our tailgate show starts. We're going to have a 2-hour tailgate show and a special guest picker, Mr. Tyrell Adams, former NFL and West Georgia linebacker. You want to stay tuned for that. But for JT, Grady, Michael, and myself, we will see y'all next week.